What's the difference between intuitives, psychics, and channels? This is a very common question among practitioners and people who are starting to develop their abilities, and I would love to share with you my definition and some clarifications. If this is your first time on my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Ro. I am a spiritual healer, mentor, and yoga teacher, and I love sharing positivity and inspiration for your spiritual journey. Before we begin, I want to remind you that you are already intuitive, psychic, and you channel. It's your choice to develop these abilities just as you would practice a new instrument or a sport. Let's begin with intuitives. But first, let's define what's intuition. Intuition would be the synthesis of everything you perceive with your senses. For example, you get information from your sight, your feelings, your memories, your touch, your observations. This synthesis can be conscious or subconscious, and it reveals insights, solutions, and directions. Here's an example of intuition. You're hanging out with your friend, and suddenly you have a feeling that something is not quite right with them, even if they haven't said or done anything explicitly unusual. Your intuition might be telling you that there is something going on beneath the surface. Subconsciously, you are gathering information from your senses and tapping into your past knowledge about your friend, their behavioral patterns, and their emotions. In less than a second, your intuition puts everything together and makes a conclusion. Many people also describe their intuition as a gut feeling, something very instinctual and visceral, or the voice of their higher self. An intuitive would be a person who uses their intuition to make decisions and help others. Now, who are psychics? Let's begin with psychic abilities. These are specialized sensory input. On one hand, intuition requires a bigger collection of information for synthesis, but psychic abilities focus on a single input of information or data. This is why psychic abilities are named for the specialized input they represent. For example, clairvoyance would be clear seeing, because you are specializing on your extra sensory sight. Another difference with intuition is that psychic perceptions are completely external to you for the most part. This means that you have no way of knowing these perceptions beforehand. You don't have any previous experience or knowledge about these perceptions. As an example, imagine that you are at a party and you suddenly see the spirit guide of a person standing next to them, out of the blue. Or you're walking down the street and you haven't been there before in your life, but you suddenly have this knowing that there is an ice cream shop around the corner. And you go to check it out, and there it is. Many people use the terms psychic and intuitive interchangeably, and for practical purposes it's okay, but I think it's worthwhile to explore the distinction and nuances between them. I want to give a big thank you to my Patreon community for sponsoring this video. I appreciate your support to continue creating free healing content for all. Now, who are channels? Channeling is simply the creative access to consciousness, energies, and perceptions that are beyond your normal, ordinary consciousness and perceptions. You can channel your higher self, your subconscious, a poem, a work of art, universal healing energy, and the messages of a discarnate entity from another dimension. Channeling involves an equal partnership between the channel and the channeled source. The channel works to set aside their own personal beliefs, expectations, prejudices, and fears, so the channeled source or spirit can come through as clearly and accurately as possible. Colloquially said, we get out of the way. As you can see, there are some similarities and differences between these subtle art forms. You are using your intuition all the time, and maybe also your psychic abilities in channeling. As I said, it's all about awareness and practice. And if you feel called to develop your gifts, you can start today. I have a psychic development meditation here on my channel and more resources for you. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you next time.